We're looking at Classic Army's Flagship M4 in this episode of Airsoftology Reviews. So the ARS4 13 is Classic Army's premium offering in the M4, and of course you're gonna get everything you expect out of a higher end M4. So I'm gonna run over the externals first, like we always do. I'm gonna talk from the tip to the toe, and we're gonna show you what you get. So let's start with the big elephant in the room here, and that is your rail system. This is a key mod rail, and it's not just your normal one where they give you key mod sections on the side and the bottom. They give it to you on all the different angles with the exception of the top, so you have options for 45-degree placement. They really spend some money putting this rail together because it does cost a little bit to build these rails, and these aren't just your standard normal airsoft spec. They're kind of a hybrid spec, closer to mil, so you can actually use airsoft and mil spec key mod sections on here, and both of them should lock in just fine. Underneath this 13-inch rail, you get a barrel. Now the barrel is like about 13.5 if you want to count it right to where the threads are. So it's not your full 14.5-inch rail. I do like the fact that they did this because a lot of times you get a 13-inch rail, then a 14.5-inch barrel here. So then you get that little gap. If you want that nice kissed look, if you want to put like a mock suppressor on here, you can definitely do it with a gun. If you want it longer, of course, you can always put a small barrel extension on. So I really like the fact that they took the time to go, well, we're not going to just grab a 14.5-inch barrel. We're actually going to get a barrel that works with the rail we chose. Moving on down the rail, of course, the top, you get one huge piece of rail space. So you've got plenty of room for lasers, optics, and all that kind of stuff. Or if you're like me, room for your GoPro camera, something like that for a reverse cam. You also get metal flip up front and rear sights, which seems to be like the standard offering from Classic Army on almost all their guns. These are really nice sights, by the way. They do lock in the up position, so you can't accidentally knock them down. You have to press the side button, then you can flip them down and out of the way. The back is windage adjustable, has two different apertures, a smaller hole and a larger hole to look through. And of course the front is also adjustable for elevation. Also the body, like I said, is full metal, and they didn't just go with the standard lower. They went with something very unique. A lot more aggressive styling, much more modern look, reinforced in a lot of areas. Also we get the logos, they're etched into the metal, they're stamped, they're not even laser cut, and they actually have a unique serial number here on the side that's actually etched as well, and then a cool restricted for military and law enforcement stamping on this side. On the fire selectors that are ambi and functional, so you lefties can rejoice here, you actually have the fire controls, actually the safe, semi, and auto use different markings instead of the word safe, semi, and auto. It does have a stopper so you can't overextend, and the other side, the opposite side, is a little shorter here so it doesn't bite into your hand. Also, it's not just your actual fire selector, it's the mag release. It is ambi as well, left and right, so you are good to go any way you look at it. If you want to drop the mag and you're a primary lefty shooter, you guys are going to be really happy with this gun. Pistol grip is one of the more modern, sleek. It's not that A2 design with a little notch. It's nice and like kind of, like I said, more comfortable to hold. Contrasting colors throughout, like black accents here, like I said, on all the switches and selectors, the sights, the inner barrel, the actual charging handle, and the buffer tube, 5-position buffer tube here. They also give you sling attachment points here, and at the buffer tube meets the receiver. You have two on the left side, one on the right, so however you want to hook things up. You don't get a front sling attachment point. It's not a big deal because most people these days, like myself, are running mono points, but you do get a crane style stock here that has attachments if you want to run them through the actual crane style stock. Battery does live in that stock as well as the MOSFET, which we'll talk about more in an internal section. So rounding this whole thing out, it's a pretty solid gun for their premium level. Also, not to be outdone, they give you two metal high caps, and this one's in tan. Now, by the way, this gun comes in both black and tan, so if you're not a fan of the tan, don't worry about it. You can get it in all black flavor too, but in both options, you get two metal high caps out of the box, which is really great, especially if you're moving up to like a premium M4, it's your first one, or you need a couple mags, extra ones to go with it. It's really nice, and these are actually the original Classic Army high caps. I'll be honest with you, I have some Classic Army high caps that are 7 and 8 years old that are still running, and I used to use them all the time, so these things will definitely hold up. Moving to the internals, you're getting all the new offerings from Classic Army, and it's a big list of what you get. You're getting their upgraded wiring, that low resistance silver strand wiring. You're getting that MOSFET like I talked about earlier. It is wired to Deans, but they give you a Deans to Tamiya connector, which means that little red T plug to the standard white plugs. Definitely if you guys aren't running Deans, by the way, I'm not going to preach too much. You should really consider moving over to Deans. There's so many benefits, including a higher rate of fire and low resistance. Also, under the hood in the mech box itself, you're getting those wire cut gears, or 21-to-1 ratio. You actually have 9mm bearing bushings and a ton of other stuff in here. I mean, they've really poured all the great parts underneath. And to round all that out, if you guys don't like the feet per second, which we'll talk about here in the chrono section in a moment, it does have a quick change spring system, so you're gonna actually get in there and make that spring change without having to crack the mech box open. Moving to the chrono, I was really happy to see they went with a higher 300s. We saw about 380 feet per second on average on our chrono test. Rate of fire was in the high teens, around that 18 mark on an 11.1 15C LiPo. So it's a pretty good balance right there. It's set up really well for an all-around build. If you guys want to turn it up, if you feel it allows, you want those extra 20 feet per second, you could always toss in a spring with that quick change spring system. And if you want a higher rate of fire, you can always boost that C rating up on your LiPo. So guys, if you've been looking to pick up a premium airsoft gun or make a step up from your mid-level one to something a lot higher end, definitely take a look at the Classic Army ARS4 13. And of course, I'll have a link for you in the description below if you guys want to learn more or pick one up yourself. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you're not currently a subscriber, click on the logo in the bottom right or in the description and you'll always be in the know. Plus, if you like what you saw in this video and want to learn more, I've got a link down there as well. And if you haven't had your airsoft fixed just yet, click in the videos on the right or use the info button at the top of the screen for more. And as the saying goes, everyone has an opinion, and I do want to hear yours. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on this video, comment, and share.